He put his arm around me in an uncomfortable way, close to areas that you shouldn't as a grown man. I remember marijuana and topless women. That's the two main things that I remember.
It began with an invitation that fell off a routine evening that turned suddenly surreal. I remember being approached in a way that made me uncomfortable. An unwelcome intimacy from someone who should have maintained professional boundaries. That night, everything shifted. I had a normal life with a regular job and simple routines, and I never imagined that a single moment touching a doorknob that felt strangely greasy and cold would split my life in half. I still recall the light, the sound, and the heavy stillness that warned me something was dreadfully wrong. The shift was immediate. In one instant, I found myself not in my familiar surroundings, but in the backseat of a car with men in black gloves and scarred faces. Their voices, they're cold. Clinical instructions, they told me I would be fine soon, as if it were just part of some routine. But as the car pulled off the road and we reached an isolated mansion lit by pale security lights, the atmosphere grew oppressive and ritualistic. I was led to a place that defied the natural order, a corridor with no windows, echoing footsteps, and signs that I was not meant to be there at all. Every step deepened the dread, the air grew cold, and I sensed that I was entering a chamber designed not for comfort, but for display. Inside that sterile, dimly lit room, the full horror of what was to come began to reveal itself. I was stripped of my autonomy as strangers surrounded me masked figures, voices measured and indifferent, and a performance orchestrated with the precision of a long practiced ritual. They placed a mask on my face, a mask that adhered to my skin as if it were alive, and whispered cryptic words that blurred the line between a dark ceremony and abject humiliation. In that moment, I felt more like an object than a person. My identity was being forcibly stripped away and replaced with something foreign. A token in a game controlled by unseen powers, the sensations numb limbs, the stinging taste of metal and chemicals, the feeling of cold devices against my skin are etched into my memory, a series of images that refused to fade even in the light of day. I awoke in my own bed, but nothing felt the same. My body bore the marks, a painful reminder of what had happened, but it was the emptiness, the sense of violation and objectification that cut deepest. There were missed calls, voicemails from my child's school, reminders that life continued outside this nightmare. In the days that followed, I began to piece together what had occurred, recording every detail, every snapshot of the horror in writing and by backing up files under secret names. It became clear that silence was a poison that would eventually destroy me if I did not break the silence. The evidence kept coming, a mysterious photo, a USB drive with undeniable footage, and each piece of proof reinforced the terrifying truth that someone was determined to erase my experience, to make sure it was forgotten. Now, I stand at a crossroads. I'm sharing my story not for the sake of attention, but because I fear that if I disappear, the truth will be lost forever. If any part of this story resonates with you, if your gut tugs or your skin crawls, I need you to like this video, subscribe, and share it far and wide. I've been silenced for too long by fear and by the forces that thrive on concealment. I write this now, pouring every memory, every fragment of that night into words so that the darkness they tried to hide will never be forgotten. My truth isn't meant to be sensationalized. It's a desperate bid for accountability and a reminder that silence only fuels abuse. If tomorrow I'm gone, ask yourself, who benefits when truth is buried? The ones who profit from silence will never let the memory of that night die. As long as you help me spread it, save this video, share it, and let it be known that the nightmare I experienced was real and that the cost of silence is a price too high for any of us to pay.